I made a previous video about Oppo and there was kind of an outrage towards the phones. People were calling them garbage, kachra phone and all other things. I don't like to make a judgment before I actually use the product. So there is only one way to find out. Hello guys, I'm Shlok and I tried the Oppo F5 for some time and here is my a little bit technical, raw and unbiased opinion on it. The last Oppo phone that I tried was the Oppo N1 and it was the phone with the rotating camera. It was long years back, so it was not like the Oppo that you see now. And the phones right now are quite different. So let's see how this one holds up and if it's actually a kachra phone. The spec sheet of the phone itself is just like any generic Chinese phone. It has a lot of inflated numbers. 16 megapixel primary camera, 20 megapixel front camera, an octa-core processor with 2.5 GHz clock speed. It's made by MediaTek though, so I don't have much expectations from it. A 6-inch 18:9 aspect ratio screen and a lot of things that look very good on paper. But how is it in like actual real life usage? I'll be honest, it does look like a premium device when you actually hold it in your hand. It has an all metal body finish with an 18:9 aspect ratio screen that actually looks very vibrant and sharp indoors, but when you take it outdoors, it can be a bit dull. The overall feel of the product and the build itself are quite impressive, and I get it now why it sells so much offline, because most people don't go too much deep into specifications and the outer build is impressive. And of course the shopkeepers promote it because they get high commission on it. You can watch the previous video that I made on the Oppo company, and if you're not subscribed to the channel yet, make sure to press the subscribe button and also tap on the notification bell. Now the interesting part, the MediaTek processor and its performance. Surprisingly, doing almost all of the everyday tasks was very smooth for the most part. I'll explain that in just a second. The gaming performance was also quite good if you compare it with a Snapdragon 625, but here's the catch. It is not very consistent. So the game would run smoothly for about 20-25 minutes and then it would stutter a bit, or you would start noticing some frame drops here and there. And it's same for the UI as well. It does not happen very often, but it's still present there. I am pretty sure this is happening because of the thermal throttling happening inside the phone. To make up for the heat produced by the 8 cores, the phone actually has to lower down the CPU clock speed, and this in turn reduces the performance of the phone. The phone does not get hot, but the performance has to suffer for that. This is a common issue that I've seen on a lot of MediaTek chipsets and also on a lot of octa-core and hexa-core processors. I remember the Redmi Note 3 with the Snapdragon hexa-core processor also had the same issue. Now let's see what's up with the selfie camera. It is the main highlight of the phone and the whole company itself. The front camera kind of takes artificial photos and it looks like I've just come out of a beauty parlor, but I definitely don't mind looking good in selfies. Comparing it to the Moto G5 Plus, which is one of the best budget camera phones according to me, I made a video comparing the MI A1 with the Moto G5 S Plus, and compared to both, the Moto G5 Plus had better photos. On the Oppo though, the picture seems to be a bit overexposed, but the face is exposed very nicely. And the details are also present. Like if you zoom into the hairs, you can see the difference between the two. The primary camera is actually very similar to the Moto G5 Plus, and the dynamic range is a little bit better on the Oppo one. The same is the case with the clarity as well. The UI looks like they want to copy iOS. It's 7.1.1 and it feels a bit cluttered sometimes. The normal Android features are hidden under sub-menus and the theming itself kind of slows the phone down a bit. So if I'm talking straight, this is a very polarizing phone. The camera, the build and the screen are quite impressive, but the performance of the phone is actually comparable to phones that cost 12 to 14,000 rupees. If I were to take a lot of photos or selfies, or I just wanted a phone for daily use, I wouldn't mind getting this. If you play games or do video editing or any kind of CPU intensive stuff, then this is definitely not the first choice. You can definitely find better ones. I think the actual price of this phone should be around 16 to 17,000 rupees, and for that price bracket, I think it's a good phone. I've not compared it with the Redmi Note 5 Pro though, so I don't know how it will exactly stand up, but there is nothing that I actually hate about this phone. If you look at companies like Micromax or Lava, you can easily make out that they're Chinese rebrands because the quality of the hardware inside is not that good. And the companies are trying to cheap out on stuff like the screen or the internal audio hardware, or they put DDR2 or DDR3 RAM in place of DDR4. And there was nothing like that with this phone. It has Corning Gorilla Glass 5 and the audio output was also really good. I don't know what's causing the outrage with this phone. The marketing strategy of the company could be a definite contender, but the phone itself is not bad. I hope that kind of sums it up. If you liked the video, make sure to press the thumbs up button and subscribe to this channel for more content like this.